tonight on Evening. Summer's almost here, and so are the shows. Take a look at the can't-miss concerts coming to town.
Hey, it's me, Ciscoe Morse. I'm going to show you how to plant dahlia tuber.
Plus, spend the night in history, the unique vacation rental that takes guests back in time.
Welcome to the show from Sober AF, Zero Proof Bottle Shop in Tacoma. I'm St. Brian, and we are here because this place is 100% alcohol-free and 100% proof that life can be awesome, completely sober.
It's impossible to not be happy in here.
It's colorful on the outside and dazzling on the inside. At Sober AF, the letters stand for more than alcohol-free. They also stand for absolutely fun.
There's also a different translation, obviously, to the AF part of the name.
Stephanie Houston says a bottle shop that celebrates sobriety has been a dream 7 years in the making. It's also a celebration of her own life-changing path.
I was a huge social drinker. I have alcoholism on both sides of my family. I was trying to figure out how to break free of that life and could never figure it out because I was always the last one singing a karaoke song at every bar. I wanted to have all the fun. I have massive FOMO.
Sober AF offers all the socializing with none of the alcohol. The mocktails that she mixes up like the Disco Barbie, totally fun. The colors here, inspired by Stephanie's teenage bedroom.
I tell people that's about when I started to go off path. So we're gonna bring it back to about that time in my life and share it with everybody else.
Surrounded by 12 bars on South Tacoma Way, Sober AF stands out in so many ways. The wines, the beers, everything here is non-alcoholic. But that doesn't mean no fun.
We're trying to flip the script on that, for sure, because it's the most healthy that I've ever been. Cheers! And I feel great, and it's just like we need to celebrate being sober.
Sober AF is open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. You know, summer is finally right around the corner. We couldn't be happier about that, and that means the concert season is already starting to heat up. Here's a look at some of those concerts that are getting a lot of buzz.
Hey, Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply. If this world was...
The summer concert season kicks off with maybe the biggest show of the year. Kendrick Lamar and SZA co-headlining their grand national tour. The show will feature both artists performing solo as well as sharing the stage. You can catch them Saturday, May 17th at Lumen Field. Known for his contemporary take on retro soul, Grammy-winning artist Leon Bridges is touring in support of his fourth album, simply titled Leon. The indie artist is playing May 30th and 31st at Remlinger Farms.
Every time leaving, oh, you don't make it easy, no.
He made his name in music with pop hip-hop hits. Now Post Malone is taking a swing at country. His latest album, F1 Trillion, features collaborations with prominent country musicians. Malone, with opening act Jelly Roll, perform at T-Mobile Park on June 26th.
Who watches over you? Make a little birdhouse in your soul, not to put too fine upon.
They first made the airwaves on college radio back in the 80s. Eclectic alternative rock duo They Might Be Giants, still performing their quirky and humorous tunes. They're doing 3 shows at the Neptune Theater starting June 13th. The man who wrote the songs the whole world sings is saying goodbye to touring. 81-year-old Barry Manilow is going on the road for the last time and is including a stop in Seattle, where he first performed in 1973. Barry will play his hits at Climate Pledge Arena on July 12th. Multi-talented Lady Gaga is touring for the first time in 3 years, and she's bringing her Mayhem Ball Tour to Seattle for 3 shows at the Climate Pledge Arena starting August 6th. In August, Seattle's favorite sister act is back on stage. Heart had to put their tour plans on hold due to Ann Wilson's cancer diagnosis. But the 74-year-old lead singer says she's feeling fine. You can see Ann and Nancy August 8th at the Gorge Amphitheater. And a couple of weeks later, the summer concert season wraps up with the Dave Matthews Band's annual Labor Day weekend shows. The 3-night series has been a tradition for the band, having played at the venue almost every Labor Day weekend since 2006.
The Dave Matthews Band always playing the same Labor Day weekend as the Arts and Music Festival Bumbershoot, a classic way to say goodbye to summer in Seattle now for many decades. Our next story is going to take us across Commencement Bay, where there's a vacation rental that has been leaving the lights on for more than 120 years.
It is the late 1800s, and Tacoma's waterfront is booming thanks to timber and the city's growing population.
When Tacoma began to become more and more of a shipping center, they needed a lighthouse to direct ships into the port. They built a permanent lighthouse in 1903. It was a wood lighthouse with a kerosene lantern. The first lighthouse keeper came in 1903, Oscar Brown and his wife Annie. They were here by themselves, no roads, no electricity, no water until 1921, so it was a very difficult life. When they realized they needed a new lighthouse, in 1933 built this concrete lighthouse, an Art Deco style, which was unique among lighthouses around.
Over the decades, the lighthouse and grounds fell into disrepair until a joint effort led by the Point's Northeast Historical Society completed a massive renovation, restoring the site to its former glory.
The lighthouse has always been the icon of Browns Point. We have restored all 7 buildings on the property and have them open as museums that people can visit.
Not only can you visit Browns Point Lighthouse, you can spend the night here as well.
We restored the cottage to then have it as a lightkeepers program, so people could rent it and experience a little bit of how the lightkeepers lived in the early 20th century.
We have the 1903 Lighthouse Keepers Cottage, and that is where Mr. and Mrs. Brown lived, the first lighthouse keepers, to occupy that house. 3-bedroom house, main bedroom downstairs, which was Oscar's office, and the 2 upstairs bedrooms with sweeping views looking north and looking south. We made it look as if that's what the house would look like in 1920. Many people have written that it's the most unique place to stay because you're in the middle of a park with the public and the most awesome view in town.
History and tranquility. Browns Point Lighthouse continues to shine.
All right, if you'd like to visit the Browns Point Lighthouse Keepers Cottage, it's a minimum 2-night stay through Vrbo or Airbnb. Of course, you can visit the lighthouse for free. Also for free, you can tell us about your favorite places to visit in the Northwest and possibly win a getaway to the Washington coast. All you need to do is vote in Best Northwest Escapes. For 29 years now, you've been telling us where to go. All you need to do is go to king5.com/escapes to vote for your favorites. Each vote enters you a chance to win a Grays Harbor getaway to Seabrook, Westport, and Ocean Shores worth $5,000. There are 50 categories. That means 50 chances to win a vacation on the coast. Vote for your favorite Best Northwest Escapes right now.
When we return, the trailblazing country artist from Snohomish County. But up next, Ciscoe Morris dishes the dirt on how to plant dahlias. Best Northwest Escapes is sponsored by unforgettable Grays Harbor County.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
I want to check that out.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Welcome back to the show from Sober AF in Tacoma, where I am getting my drink on. This is actually called a purple drink, and it's a lot of fun. You know, most of us don't think about dahlias until the end of the summer, but Ciscoe says planting season is right about now.
Oh la la, I'm so excited. I just got a new box of dahlias in the mail. Oh, this is the Bishop of Landolph. This is one of the coolest dahlias you'll ever see. Red leaves, great big red single flowers, all kinds of golden stamen. The pollinators are nuts for it, and so am I. Okay, here's the first thing you need to know before you plant your dahlia tuber, and that's when to plant it. Don't do it too early. Wait till early May. If you put it in that cold, wet ground, it's probably gonna rot. Okay, I've got some really well-drained soil here. I pulled all the mulch off this area. You never wanna get mulch mixed in when you're planting. This is fish bone meal. I love this stuff. One warning before you use this: if your dog can get at the place you're planting your dahlia bulb, don't use bone meal. I actually saw one of my dahlia tubers fly across the window as my dog was digging it up. So a nice handful of bone meal. And I gotta work that in really good right here. You can see where the little growth bud is right there. Some people put them in the ground like this. I never do that. I put them laying down. All right, little guy. Now I have one more thing I have to do before I cover it up. Okay, I'm gonna stick this really cool stake in here. If I fill this with soil and then stick in the stake, there's a good chance that I could stick it through the tuber. That is not good. Okay, now I can fill it back in. Okay, little guy, enjoy this drink of water. Now you're gonna be the most beautiful dahlia in my garden.
All right, thank you, Ciscoe. For dahlias around here, at least, peak blooming season is August and September. Few flowers have such a beautiful array of colors. Antoine Tyler is the name of a Northwest musician who, for the past decade, has been building up a big following and, along the way, breaking down barriers.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When Antoine Tyler started playing the music he loved on stage, he was curious about one thing.
So as I was stepping into the country genre, which is predominantly a white genre and whatnot, are people gonna really like this hip hop kind of saucy twang that I have to some of my songs? Or are they gonna be like, this isn't country?
He's finding his answer in this full house at the Oxford Saloon in Snohomish, his hometown. This up-and-coming country artist was born in Tacoma and raised by adoptive parents, mostly here in the Northwest.
I've got my jacket on and that chain around my neck.
He's breaking the barriers of both country and hip-hop with music that reflects a powerful mashup of influences, from Johnny Cash to Tupac, with roots firmly planted right here in Washington.
Grew up in that 360, just another ranch down the road, heading up that highway too.
His latest single, Homesick, is blowing up on streaming channels and social media.
You know, I mentioned grew up in that 360. So many people around here love that lyric because you just don't hear that anywhere. That's in music, you just don't hear it that often. You know, I love how those mountains are blue. You know, that's part of the reason as to why I love Washington so much.
Homesick is also inspired by his grandpa and fishing buddy, the man who gave Antoine his first guitar when he was 8 years old.
He's like the reason why I'm pushing for this music thing. I know that he would be so proud to see myself, and especially tonight, my dad and my brother-in-law out here all sharing the stage tonight.
That's Antoine's dad playing harmonica during his son's set.
As I think to the future, The impact that I want to make is I want to be able to inspire anyone and everyone that listens to my music.
I think I'm homesick, I don't know if I can make it home. I've been longing for those echoes on the country road.
Antoine Tyler would happily put up with being homesick to live his dream of packing stadiums, just like he did the Oxford.
And I might just get in my truck doing 95 straight, shot to hell on the highway.
And introducing the rest of the country to his brand of country, born in the Pacific Northwest.
It's all new to me, and I'm really just taking the bull by its horns.
I started to get a little choked up there at the end because I just know that my grandpa would be so proud. Thank you so much.
Taking the bull by the horns, that's Antoine Tyler. Will be playing his latest music video at the end of the show.
The Thurston County couple creating crystal clear flutes.
I think most people are really surprised that they sound so good.
This month's Ciscoe segment sponsored by Dram, the professional's choice for lawn and garden.
Welcome back to the show. Let's head down to Thurston County now, where some of the world's most beautiful flutes are being made. This is actually a story 50 years in the making.
I think most people are really surprised that they sound so good. Usually when he starts playing, I mean, the heads just turn. And anyone who has an interest in music usually steps closer.
They may not be magic flutes, but for 50 years, the glass instruments Jim Hall first started making as a college student have led to a charmed life.
They're really good flutes now.
Every Hall crystal flute is born in fire on a homemade machine Jim calls the flute tractor.
I start with a tube of glass. It's about 4 feet long. The end is sealed by pinching it off. Then it's tapered with a carbon paddle. Score it, wet it, and then it pops.
Once the tubes have cooled, Jim places them on another homemade machine to form the finger holes.
The holes are heated, air is blown into it and make bubbles. The bubbles are sanded off, and I heat it up and smooth out these holes. Then it goes from me to Jenny.
An artist in her own right, one day Jenny was selling decorated eggs at a street fair in Port Orchard.
So I had a booth set up next to this nice flute player, and he serenaded me for the entire day, and we had dinner, and about a year later we were married. That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Today, Jenny handles the business side of things and adds the ceramic decals to each flute.
It's a water mount, so they're applied and then they're kiln fired again and then boxed.
They've sent thousands of flutes all over the world, but this isn't about getting rich, the couple says. It's a business that has allowed them to work from home and raise 2 children.
It was a good choice. I got to see my kids grow up, got to be here.
They still love to go to street festivals and Renaissance fairs, where the flutes pretty much sell themselves.
Eventually they're going to end up in the hands of someone that's going to be playing them and enjoying them.
It is a musical life, and just for a moment, I get to sit in.
It's been a good life, yeah.
It's not over.
Such a great couple. We've got a link to Hall Crystal Flutes on our website, king5evening.com, and you can meet the couple at the Washington Midsummer Renaissance Fair in Snohomish, and that happens in July.
The latest music video from Snohomish County singer Antoine Tyler. Now in our 39th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
All right, that is going to do it for us from Sober AF, Zero Proof Bottle Shop in Tacoma. Remember, they are open Wednesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to leave you now with music from Snohomish County country music artist Antoine Tyler. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
She's my Tennessee black label on ice. She's in the glass and it's on the table. She's a buzz, not a kill that I'm trying to drink. She ain't from Tennessee, that girl's my Tennessee.